Have you ever walked into a room and felt like every pair of eyes was a spotlight, exposing every flaw you've spent a lifetime trying to hide? Does your heart race at the thought of a simple greeting, convinced that the person in front of you is already judging the tremor in your voice or the awkwardness of your stance? This is the heavy, invisible architecture of social anxiety. It is not just shyness or being an introvert. It is a profound cognitive distortion where your brain treats a simple conversation like a life or death battle for survival. At its core, social anxiety is fueled by the spotlight effect. We labor under the crushing illusion that everyone is observing our every move with the same intense scrutiny that we use to judge ourselves. We become the directors of a horror film where we are the protagonist and every stranger is a critic waiting for us to miss a line. We forget that most people are far too occupied with their own internal storms to notice the ripples in ours. Psychologically, this often stems from a hyperactive amygdala, the brain's ancient alarm system. For the socially anxious, this alarm rings at the volume of a siren during a casual lunch or a brief meeting. Your mind isn't trying to sabotage you, it is trying to protect you from the evolutionary pain of social rejection. In the past, being cast out from the tribe meant certain death, and your brain still carries that ancestral fear into the modern coffee shop. We also fall victim to mind reading, a cognitive trap where we convince ourselves we know exactly what others are thinking. We see a neutral face and interpret it as boredom. We see a whisper and assume it is mockery. We are essentially fighting ghosts, projections of our own insecurities cast onto the faces of others. These unreal fears create a prison of glass where we can see the world but feel entirely unable to touch it. The weight of the struggle leads to social masking. You perform a version of yourself that you believe is acceptable, editing your thoughts and stifling your laughter until the person standing in the room is a hollow shell. This performance is exhausting. It's the reason why an hour of socializing feels like running a marathon. You aren't just talking, you're managing a complex defense system while trying to appear normal. Healing begins by acknowledging that your thoughts are not absolute truths. When the spiral starts, ask yourself if you have evidence for your fear, or if you're simply listening to a biological echo of the past. Confidence is not the absence of fear, but the realization that your value is not a commodity that others can take away with a glance. You are allowed to be awkward. You are allowed to take up space. Try the technique of external focus. Instead of monitoring your heartbeat or your words, turn your attention outward. Notice the color of the other person's eyes, the rhythm of the background music, or the texture of your drink. By moving from the head to the world, you starve the anxiety of the attention it needs to grow. You realize that the spotlight you feared is actually just the sun, shining on everyone equally. Be gentle with your sensitive heart. Your high awareness of others is a gift of empathy that has simply been tuned to a frequency of fear. You can learn to tune it back to connection. You don't need to be the loudest person in the room to belong there. Your quiet presence is enough. Your authentic, unpolished self is more magnetic than any perfect mask you could ever wear. Release the burden of trying to control how others perceive you. It is a task that is both impossible and unnecessary. People will think what they will, and you will remain whole regardless. Take a deep breath and let the armor fall. The world is far kinder than your anxiety whispers, and there is a profound peace waiting for you on the other side of the what-ifs. You are safe to be seen. You are safe to be heard. You are not a mistake waiting to happen. You are a human being worthy of the very connection you fear.